Before we start this podcast, I just want to start with a quick apology to everyone who listens. Me and Kyle were reflecting. We've been doing this podcast now for well over 5 years. I don't even honestly know how long. I know it's been probably 2019, so probably about 7 years. And we designed this podcast to be the fit, healthy, happy podcast. So we wanted happiness, we wanted health, we wanted fitness to be at the forefront of that. But where I want to apologize is we feel like we've diluted our message a bit to not offend anyone. And even reflecting for myself, I personally believe hard truths are the best truths oftentimes. They're a little bit hard, kind of punch you in the stomach. They'll make you a little bit uncomfortable. So we do want to switch some of our messaging and not hold back to the things we believe. Of course, these aren't crazy things. I believe everyone deserves to be fit, healthy, and happy. But I also think it's time we start calling out some excuses. We start really letting everyone know how we feel, some different opinions, some different stances. So we really want to elevate and grow this podcast. We have some amazing plans for guests. We have a lot of things on our mind, and we just want to let you know that you're going to be getting 100% real Josh and Kyle. Not that you weren't before, but I just think we were very delicate and very careful. But I think the content will actually be better if I'm speaking to you exactly how I would a friend. And we're still incredibly positive, nice people, so it might not even sound that different. But I did want to go ahead and start the episode with that because I believe coddling, I believe just like lightly saying things doesn't always produce results. And like I said, even me, sometimes when someone has a real talk with me, and I actually remembered like for a while, I thought I was doing really good. I was like, I just chalked it off as, oh, I'm bulking when I started lifting. And one of my friends said, dude, you put on a lot of weight. Like, what's going on? And it made me so mad at first. I'm like, how could he say this to me? But I'm like, I need to hear this because if he's saying it, everyone is thinking it. Like it's 100% a thing. Like I'm just lying to myself with it. So like if you're someone who thinks like, oh, I'm just hiding in hoodies, no one can notice, or I just don't buy no clothes, no one's gonna tell, or like I never wear jeans, or I stopped going to the gym, like people do notice, right? And I think having someone on your side to lovingly call you out, and we want to be there every week to not only just like call you out, but to guide you to the solutions. And like the whole tenet of my beliefs is that fitness doesn't have to be hard. And I've cracked that code. And even for me, like I want to jump in a cut, that's no problem. 3 pounds first week, it's effortless. It's no issue. And that's what we do for our clients. And I talk to my clients this way too. I'll try to be firm, but loving and supportive because I find that's the best position to be. So I just wanted to start the episode with a little bit change of messaging, give you some context, and just we want this to be the absolute best advice. And I believe that's the best way for us to do it.
And we want every single thing to actually move the needle for you, right? I know so many of you who like the thought of taking action. You show up, you listen, you tune in, and nothing changes. You consistently consume content, you're scrolling reels, you're getting motivated for one day, and you've never made change. So I truly believe the things we're gonna say will be able to get deeper with you and just be able to actually produce that change. Because my ultimate mission, and you know, if you were to come to me a year from now and say, hey, I really like you guys, I listen to all the podcasts, but like I'm still in the same spot, if not worse, that doesn't make me happy. Whereas if you said, hey, like, you know, some of the stuff was a bit of tough love, but like you made me change and you've changed my life, I'll be so much happier. And with that, now is the perfect time to take action. Some of you have listened consistently. You said, you know what, I'm going to start another time. You consistently start over. You like the thought of it. You talk to everybody about you doing this whole fitness thing, and you've never actually taken action. And that's mainly because you're scared to invest in yourself. You don't believe you're worth it or what you're aiming to do can actually solve your problem. But I guarantee your results. Summer's coming up very soon, and what we're doing is we're actually running an early access deal. So basically all you have to do is message us saying summer challenge to Instagram at Colossus Fit, COLOSSUSFIT. This will finally be the time that you see change. We're going to have tons of prizes, thousands of dollars worth. You're going to get guaranteed results, and you're actually going to be able to feel your best this summer. You're not going to have to wear a sweater at the pool. You're not going to have to throw out that dress that you were looking forward to where you now feel like you can't fit into it because you'll never get in shape. Now is the time. I promise you I'll get you there, but you have to believe in yourself, and I'll show up every single day and help you out.
Yeah, and Kyle, we were at the pool a lot actually when we were in Arizona, and we actually did a lot of our work at a pool, which is the best life hack. And he said to me, man, I just love like when I take my shirt off, everyone looks, I walk around with my chest high, just I feel like that guy. And maybe you've had that in your 20s, maybe you haven't had that in a long time, but I want that for you this summer. And that's what this challenge is built around. So this is early access pricing. So this is your chance to get in early, get some bonuses on top of that. And if you want to look great for summer, there's a reason I started my to cut this week. You can't just start like 4 weeks before, 2 weeks before and see massive change, because not only do we want to strip off that unwanted fat that you put on, we want to improve your posture, we want to improve your mindset so you can navigate these situations with success. And we also want to put on some new muscle and just really getting you look ripped, lean, and just amazing in a swimsuit or a bikini this summer. So join us for this challenge. Thousands of prizes. Work alongside me and Kyle. Have me or Kyle as your coach. You can request either one of us, and that is an extra bonus of this, is you can have the coach you exactly want, and me and Kyle will be on your side to make that happen. So you can DM us on Instagram, Summer Challenge. Our Instagram is @ColossusFit, ColossusFit, and we look forward to working with you, giving you the confidence you deserve, and just getting you looking absolutely insane this summer on the beach, the pool, the barbecue, wherever you are. Now into the episode. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fit, Healthy, and most of all, Happy podcast. I am your coach and summer challenge specialist, Josh, here with
his other summer challenge specialist, Coach KG, and I am excited to help you out.
Yeah, and thank you for listening with us through that real talk. And in general, I think things have changed. I even said to Kyle, like, we started this in our teens. We built in our teens. And it was funny how optimistic we were. We were making no money. I was making a ton of content for free. I was coaching people for free. I was doing all this crazy stuff. It was nuts. But we had self-belief, and we learned, we grew, we invested. We invested in ourselves with coaches, with courses, with certification, anything and everything we could. Every book I could read, like, it was awesome. And then the 20s, the ball started rolling. We started to see some momentum, some change. And I think even the landscape of just turning 30, like, the world is so radically different. We really reflected, myself and Kyle, like, what do people need? And I think our benefit was we posted so much content. We'd say, here are great protein foods, here are good food swaps. We would do all this different stuff, and that's what people yearn for. But now information is at such a different place, and there's an overload of information, right? So we want to supply you with the best information. We want to supply you with the best mindset. We want to supply you with the best toolkit to become fitter, healthier, and happier. And we want to do that with just like full transparency, full honesty, not tidying up too much around the edges, just keeping it real, unfiltered. And once again, it's not like we're going to absolutely change our personalities or anything. We're very much, I believe, what you've seen on this podcast. I just think we hold back a little bit from really pushing you and allowing you to see that full potential. So I hope you enjoy this episode. There's going to be a lot of growth and a lot of excitement that comes with this episode. I also am excited to say that next week's Motivation Monday will be part 2 of the rapid fire bonus mega Motivation Monday. So that's going to be a ton of fun. And if you have a question to submit for that, please do so over our Instagram @ColossusFit. Just message us. I got a question for Mega Motivation Monday. And that's a fun one too. Even if you want to ask something silly like our favorite color or favorite show, or I don't know what the heck, feel free to send it over if there's something you want to know and get to know myself or Kyle better. But as always, we start Motivation Monday with our first question out of the mailbox, and that is, very fittingly, I'm looking to get in shape for summer and I know it's coming up fast. Any tips or tricks?
So some of you are starting to experience that little tease, I guess you could say, and it is amazing because where we're at, we had like 2 nice days, and you can already tell, like yesterday I was in shorts, people are getting excited, and this is the time where you start to think about it, right? Because it just comes quickly, and it's a great question. So even in Arizona, as Josh was mentioning, like I've spent a lot of time in my past just being insecure. And some of you may have never seen this, but I just feel like there was a lot of times where I could have done better. I could have committed to a cut better. Maybe I just didn't do my phasing right. And some of it was a little bit of like kind of just me being hard on myself. But I just thought, like, to me, there is nothing worse than not feeling happy with yourself and just being feeling the way that you should in your own skin. And summer is obviously a great representation of that because we're in a lot less clothing than usual. Winter, it's a lot easier to hide. We're in baggy sweaters, whatever the case is. But the biggest thing is, for summer, you should feel your best. You should always feel your best, of course, but now is the time to start. And I like that Josh mentioned that he just started his shred, because that was actually my biggest tip. Like, it is mid-March, specifically, March 15th, right? And it is so important to just get started now. And I put it into a calculator and I realized we're just about 13 weeks out from summer, and that will come by really quick. And what a lot of people don't realize is there will be some weeks where it may be a little bit more challenging. There may be a week where it's maybe the time of the month and, maybe something really busy with work. And most people end up waiting to the very last minute. They're waiting until mid-May, until it is just so hot out, and they're like, oh my gosh, I have to start now. So some of you are probably expecting some crazy different tip for this, but like I'm telling you, when you get started at the right time, it gives you enough time to do the right phasing. It gives you enough time to allocate for maybe 1 or 2 weeks where things may be a little bit more challenging. And this alone makes such a big difference. And when you actually list it out and you say, okay, we're about 12 weeks from here, I've got about 15 pounds to lose, here's the game plan, here's where I want to be, and you establish where you want to go after that. This is something we do with all of our clients, and I take a look at their situation. I know that some of them have bachelorettes. I know that some of them have weekend cottages. They go to the cottage every single week. So they don't really want to be in a deficit during the summer. So I know if we hammer for the next 12 to 14 weeks and then we get into a better maintenance phase, that will prepare us better. And so my biggest tip isn't exactly to drink more water. It's not to sleep better. These are all really good things, but have a plan, have numbers that you want to hit, be super specific on it, don't deviate, and you will be in such a better spot and you'll be so happy with yourself by the time summer comes.
Yeah, I made the mistake so many times in the past, starting really late, like waiting till it's actually like a week before I go to a beach or a pool or whatever the heck it is. And it is just not ideal because you start cutting then, it's going to be wishy-washy. There's already events, there's things going on. And then you just end up being shredded for winter, which like makes no sense and is just so suboptimal. So I do find mixing phasing with the year is nice. If you can bulk through the winter, it just naturally makes more sense. You can hide it a bit. You don't need to feel as lean. But for summer, it's just like an amazing feeling. And I used to hate every summer, like especially at the start when I was just learning to cut and I did all these huge bulks. And the next summer, very often I would go to put on my shorts and they'd feel like tiny little dinky shorts. And it drove me nuts because I'd like feel them pushing up against my stomach and it just would kind of remind me constantly that I needed to lose weight. And it just really, really bothered me. Like it was just the worst feeling, made me not want to wear shorts. And it was just such a mess. So that's where if you can start early, like I'm telling you, being shredded in summer is like, you're like a celebrity. Not actually, like people don't care as much as you think, but I think you personally will care more than ever. Like just being able to take your shirt off with absolute confidence. For me in the summer, I love barbecuing shirtless, walking around. Like it's nice, right? It's nice just to put on your shorts. They feel good. You're running around. Someone wants you to hop in for volleyball. You're like, yo, I'm good for it. You're at a pool. Like you just feel your best. It's just, there's something nice about it. And especially on a beach, because it's like you put in that work oftentimes for like these little like superficial moments, sure, but it is a really nice feeling to just feel that way, to feel lean. I think even in the summer, just carrying around less weight, there's more activities, it's hotter. To me, it's really nice being lean because that's one other gripe. I've been very shredded in the winter and I'm actually like freezing. Like if you've ever been really, really lean, it gets super cold. Like I get pretty cold when I'm really lean because you don't have as much insulation, as much body fat. And it's definitely a factor. It's something to consider. In the summer, I see that as a big benefit, and that's something I really enjoy. So it mixes quite nice, and that's where I do recommend starting now. My biggest tip I'll give, like we could give more tangibles, but I'm going to jump ahead to my quote. And I actually made this my wallpaper, and it's all in or not in. There's no middle. And I used to cut somewhere in the middle. I used to start my cut, and if something came along that was convenient, I'd be like, okay, whatever, I'll start next week, or tomorrow is the real first day. I'm sure you've done this, and maybe you've been doing this for the last month, 3 months, year, whatever it's been. And if you have, like, you're just never going to succeed. It's not going to happen. You either need to be all in or not in. And what that means is, like, when you get to your calorie cap, that's your calorie cap. You're going to get to bed. You're going to train hard. You're going to stick to your plan. You're going to map things out, and you're going to be smart about it. And that's where with clients too, it's good to know, like, what major events are coming up this summer? How can we change our phasing? How can we adjust for this? And really understanding, like, where we're trying to go and how we're trying to do it. But even for me, so I bulked to about 222. I'm hoping to close my bulk out around 217. It's not a set. I go off my average weigh-in. So like today I was 218.4. So you could say, oh my gosh, I lost 3.6 pounds. But a lot of that will be the adjustment in food volume as well as water. So that is something to consider. But on that average, I do expect to be able to finish this in about a month at about a pound and a bit a week, pound and a quarter a week, which is a great rate of loss for someone of my weight. And obviously you're like, okay, well, this is the dinkiest cut ever. Like, this is like a joke. And maybe yes, but I worked very hard to get to this place. And what's nice is having that freedom to say, okay, I want to do a controlled bulk, to be able to cut at 3,000 calories. Like, these are the benefits you can get by putting in the work and doing it right. And I'll say to people all the time, they'll be like, oh, I don't know if I want to invest in myself. Like, I don't know, I could just try to do it myself and do ChatGPT. And then they'll get bad advice. They'll go nowhere. They'll never actually do it. There's no real stakes. And then they're like on this perpetual thing of like for years not knowing what to do, feeling stuck, feeling a victim at your situation. Like, to me, go all in and grab it. Like, get a coach, fully commit to the cut, do this challenge, maybe win a bunch of prizes and money and have it be a really financially positive thing as well. But you're going to learn how to do this for the rest of your life. Every summer, if you're like, oh, I want to shred down a bit, or I got an event, or I'm going to vacation, you can just do it. Like, and it doesn't need to be hard. And that's the thing I've stressed. People make it so hard. They overcomplicate the information. They have shiny object syndrome where they'll shred down for a month and they'll jump on keto. And then when they're off keto, they balloon up and they're not where they want to be. And it's just ridiculous. It's so unsustainable. So that's where, to me, like, just actually going all in. And a big component of that is actually having support. And I really want to say this because even for New Year's, the people that commit with us they've transformed. They're amazing. They're already shredded. They're already shredded big. Most of them actually, we're bulking them up now, and we'll just do a little mini cut just to tighten up for the summer for the challenge, which is huge. A lot of people that wanted to do it, they messaged me. They were unsure. They're like, oh, I'm going to put it off. All those people, I don't know a single person who's actually implemented that. They've all gone the opposite route. They've all probably put on more weight. They're probably more ashamed when they don't need to be, because, like, to me, it's like, I can just solve this for you. So to me, I just think if you're going to cut this summer, actually cut. Don't kind of want it, really want it.
And I'm glad Josh mentioned that, because that's actually, like, by far the biggest mistake I've ever made, is just being half in and half out. And it's like those times where usually it happens because your goals don't mean enough to you, right? Like, straight up, you like to tell people, and you'll message and talk to everyone at work, be like, I'm getting ready for summer. But when push comes to shove, and that's going to bring me into my quote, which I'll talk about in a bit, it's just like, you don't actually put in the work. Like, it doesn't really mean much to you. Your goals don't matter. You like to talk about it a lot more, and it doesn't matter, because if it mattered, you would go all in. And that's the truth, because I've had that happen where even Josh, he's like, bro, you said you were going to do a cut. I'm like, yeah, like, I've just been half in and half out. Straight up. Like, you have to admit that to yourself to be able to get better. And the last thing I'll say on this topic, because there's a lot of great points brought up here, is that you really need to focus on the bigger needle movers. So, for example, someone who has reached out to us recently, she said her biggest focus going forward is drinking more water. So we all know drinking water is incredible. It's helpful, but a lot of people will take that thing, which is a small benefit, and they'll kind of forget about other things, right? If someone were to say to me, hey, my goal is to be 100% accurate, to weigh everything with my food, to hit my calories, to really make sure to use measuring cups, that's a needle mover. Like, that alone will ensure you're 100% in a calorie deficit. Or someone who says, you know what, I want to, I'm going to try some supplements. Like, I was, interested in a diuretic or something that I've seen on the internet. And then they're not the people who say, hey, I'm going to get to the gym and strength train 4 times a week and follow my routine with progressive overload. Like, you guys already know the stuff that we believe. It's hitting your workouts 4 to 5 times a week with a proper program. It's hitting your nutrition, your calorie deficit, and being 100% accurate with it. And it's having that accountability and the support to make changes as we see fit, and make sure that we're actually paying attention to the big stuff, right? But once again, a lot of people get distracted with some smaller things, and it just ends up distracting you, right? Because a couple weeks goes by, you're like, hey, I've been maybe doing like a little bit more water, and I'm feeling better, and like I'm gaining strength, but then you haven't actually lost weight, and you haven't actually lost body fat. And if you're not losing weight week to week, you're not actually getting closer to that goal. A lot of people will say, oh, but I'm gaining strength and I'm feeling better. And believe me, that is great. But in order to get to that end goal, we have to be seeing the average weigh-in go down. You have to be in a calorie deficit, and that's what's going to matter most, so you feel your best for summer.
And like most things, you can cheat by gamifying it. And that's where maybe it's a little selfish, but I enjoy partaking in all these challenges as well, because I'm doing alongside it with the community. Everyone's firing me up. We're sharing tips and tricks. We got weekly challenges. We got criteria we need to hit every single day. It makes it a lot easier to stick to that intensive when you have accountability, when it's gamified. And that chunk of time can give you such a push forward, which is absolutely amazing. So once again, this is your chance to do it. You deserve this, and you need to believe you deserve it. it. And if you're not valuing investing in yourself, you're selling yourself so short. If you know we help you with this information every week, like you really are shooting yourself in the foot. Like see what that next step looks like, see behind the curtain. Our results are fully guaranteed. So you were literally investing to get your results. And it doesn't matter if you failed before. Most likely, so many people that come into our program have tried other coaches, other programs. They've tried using ChatGPT and just figuring it out, or figuring out with YouTube, and they've failed. And it's not that they failed, it's that their program failed them. They didn't have the support, they didn't have the custom nature towards the program. They didn't have the ability to see it through, to adapt, to challenge, to change, to be able to readjust, a program that will adjust with them. And what's amazing too is there's such a human element. You're getting a video back from me every single week. We're face to face, obviously not directly in time, but we are face to face. We send our videos where you send a video, I send a video back. And that allows us to see that human element, for me to really learn more about your situation, for you to really communicate where you're at, your wants and your needs outside of the data and the numbers, which never lie. So between those, it's truly like, it's just, you're guaranteeing your progress. And I want this to be the summer you finally are like pumped to be on the beach in less clothing and to celebrate that and to feel your best. And let's make it great. So message summer challenge for that early access pricing that will close. We have limited spots for that, for the early access, because it's a really crazy good deal, to be honest. So don't miss out on it. Don't put it off. Summer challenge to our Instagram at ColosssusFit, COLOSSUSFIT. I jumped into my quote already, so we'll pass it off to Mr. Kyle with his quote.
Yeah, and I texted Josh it this morning. I really like this quote I heard in a video. It was, everyone wants to be a lion, but no one wants to do what lions do. And it honestly is an interesting quote, but it actually got me thinking about another quote, which was from like powerlifting videos, bodybuilding videos, like kind of the saying, like everyone wants to be a bodybuilder, but no one wants to do what bodybuilders do. And then there was even another one, I think it may have been Ronnie Coleman or something. Everyone wants to be a powerlifter, but no one wants to lift that heavy weight, right? And it's like, it's an interesting quote because you really think about how, once again, a lot of people want to kind of do it and say that they do. Like, it kind of sounds cool, like, oh, you know, I'm doing a bodybuilding thing, but most people don't end up following through. And I kind of jumped into my thoughts within this a little bit earlier, where I've seen so many people, and believe me, I've been to a lot of family get-togethers. I've been to so many things, whether it's like, you know, the gym or the sauna, and so many people like to talk about it because it feels good. Like even friends who'd said, I'm preparing for a marathon. And then next thing you know, they're just not doing it because it's interesting. Like, it's fun to talk about. You kind of feel like you're doing it because of like how much you talk about it, right? And I'm more of a person that would rather just like put in the work behind the scenes and then be like, hey, I just did this thing. Obviously, I share a lot with you guys to inspire you, but in my world, I would just rather do that. So once again, when it comes down to it, whatever it is that you say you're going to do, your word is your word, and you have to believe in yourself, and you have to have that conviction. And that's the best way to get confidence within yourself, is when I say I'm going to do this and I'm going to shred for summer, I'm going to reach my goal, I'm going to put in the work to get towards that. And that's what's going to matter the most. So that's my quote for today. And I really like it.
Yeah, I think really conveying to yourself on a separate note, like, when you're going to do something, you're going to do it. It's something you got to do like over and over and over. Like, if you're like, okay, I'm going to get on a walk this morning, you got to go on that walk. If you say you're going to give your all in your workout, you got to give it your all in that workout. And it's so easy to like really dilute the quality of this. Like, if you say I'm going to do 10 minutes on the treadmill and you start doing 6, it's like how you train yourself. And even for me, like, I try, that's why I love that quote, how you do anything is how you do everything. If every time you're reading something, you're skimming it. If every time you're watching TV, you need to be eating and watching reels at the same time, like, you're telling yourself, like, I don't do things with intention. I don't do them well. I don't do them to the best of my ability. And I think none of us do everything to the best of our ability, but I think the more you can train that, the better. And I loved at Good Life, even they used to have people come in. I don't know if they're volunteers or they're making minimum wage, and they would come and clean up the gym floor at Gold's Gym, I guess, when I worked there. And there was one guy, and he's like, my mama told me everything I do, I got to do it right. Because he would clean, like, it was so nice. All the plates were in perfect position. The clips were amazing. Like, lifting after he did it was the best. But I remember he told that to me, and that it really stuck with me. And I'm sure you've heard that from 50 people. But even for you, it's like, okay, if I'm going to track my food, you could do it all all at the end of the night. You could just put hamburger, breakfast sandwich, and it's going to be horrible. It's not even going to be remotely accurate. Or you could say, okay, even for me, I've challenged myself with this cut. I'm like, okay, anything I eat, before I eat it, needs to be tracked. It needs to be tracked accurately, because once you eat it, you can't take it back. But before, I can adjust. I can see if it fits my plan. I can see if it fits my macros. For me, even, I, for fun, started putting peanut butter on my Greek yogurt in the morning, and it's easy for me to just free ball it and grab whatever. We talk about this a lot, but who knows? Is it going to be 1 tablespoon, 3 tablespoons, 4 tablespoons? And right away, like, the difference in calories can be so high. So it's like, I'm going to measure and weigh everything I can. Even though I do it every single day, I still do it. And it's like, you could use that new app where you take a photo of something and it logs it for you. The whole point of this is for us to be as accurate as we can, so we can have like quantifiable data that we can use to adjust to make sure we're moving in the right direction, the rate of loss we want, optimally. And the second you dilute that, you're diluting the quality of it. I use an example to Kyle as well, like, because the other day we were lifting and he had a lot on his mind. There's a lot going on. And we did the same workout, but at 2 very different intensities. It's the same workout, same motion, same everything. So it's like, it's hard to do this, but I think the more you can say, how can I really do everything right? Like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to take it super seriously. I'm going to give it my all. And it actually makes it a lot more fun when you really apply. Same with the gym. I think people that go in there, they do whatever they want. They pick some machines and they try to get a sweat. Like, that sucks. I hate that so much. When I have a plan, like, even I started my new routine today, it's so fun. I'm trying to increase my lifts on everything I do. I'm like, okay, I got to push myself more on quad extension. So I started doing 235 pounds for my 8 reps there, which I was selling myself crazy short. I was doing 165. Like, I have to call it what it is. So it was awesome to be able to push myself there and to like have that challenge and be on a great routine. And it's like, I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to maximize my intensity, my composition. So I think with anything, especially with a cut, if you're going to do it and you do it right, the best part is you can achieve in a month what might take someone else a year of them struggling, flip-flopping, feeling worse, starving. It's just like, you've heard that expression, right? Like, do it right or do it twice. Like, same principle.
I love that Josh mentioned that, because he actually shot me a text this morning. I wrote it down. It's something along the lines of, everything you do, there should be a reason. And this was within our business, which I thought was great. And I just got thinking, I'm like, man, there's been a lot of things that I've been doing where I feel productive and I feel busy, but there hasn't been a reason. There hasn't been a purpose. Like, I could make 16 different videos and post it on Instagram, but none of it's helping you guys. None of it's helping us grow, get new clients that are ready to crush it, and just really changing your lives. Like, it's pointless. Like, I may have got views, but like, there's no reason to that. It's just random. And a lot of you guys within your fitness journey, you feel productive, or maybe you're the person who's like, hey, I know I should be doing this. There's 2 different types of people, but some of you are going out for runs. You're doing some things where you like, you're just not fully sure, is this the right thing? And so I wanted to challenge you, when you are doing stuff for your fitness journey, just start thinking, like, what is the purpose for this? Is there a reason for it? And if it's going to get you closer towards your goals, do more of it. If you're not sure if it is, and it's kind of just random, it's probably not going to get you closer, and it is just in fact random. And starting to pay attention and thinking of that, like, when I go in for a strength training workout, I know 100% it is getting me closer to my goals, and it's going to get me there, right? Aside from that workout where I was distracted and it wasn't, I was just there to be there. That wasn't the best. But call yourself out, make sure the things you're doing you're doing it for a reason, and you'll see way better results long term.
Awesome. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into our client shout out. Who do we have this week?
So this week we have my awesome client, Ariel, and she has done a lot of our great challenges. Just sent her a recent t-shirt for the completion for the New Year's challenge. She's about 20 pounds down. She even messaged me saying, hey, it was cool to see you guys traveling, what you guys got up to. She's heading out for a trip this next week. And that's the thing. Like, it's so cool, this whole journey, like getting to know someone. I've been with her for a little bit over a year now, and she's just changed her physique. She's changed her mindset. She's in such an amazing spot. And I love getting into my clients' fitness journeys. And what a lot of people don't realize when it comes to this is it is a very personal connection. I get to know what you're struggling with. Her child is always jumping in the check-ins, which is cool. I get to see that. Like, it's a very rewarding job. Like, I really like what I do. And especially when I can get to know someone's situation and how I can help them and what they're going through, and just navigate with a trip or a busy time of work. Like, I know everything. Like she just got a walking pad to increase her steps. She's just so cool. And I love just being able to help someone. And even cooler than that, as well, we have her husband, Favio, who Coach Josh has helped lose like 50 plus pounds, which has been awesome. So just a huge shout out to the power couple. And it's just been so amazing to see them both succeed, both thrive, and get such incredible results.
Couples that train together stay together. That used to be like the tweet, the reel that would go around all the time. I think that's kind of gone away, but I think that's the best too, because maybe you listen to this, you want to be super fit and healthy, and your partner doesn't want that. They're just kind of happy where they are, and it creates a divide. I think that's where it's also nice when you can like bring up the people around you too. And I've always loved that. And it's actually funny. I lifted with my buddy Sonny. He was in like my grade 10 English class or grade 11 English class, I suppose. And long story short, like he was big. He's like 320, 350. I don't know. He was a big boy. And my teacher's like, I bet Sonny could beat you in an arm wrestle, because I was like getting to lift in. I was the man in my mind. And I'm like, not a chance. And we arm wrestled and he destroyed me. And we're like, what the heck? And we're like, come to the gym with us, bro. And this is when we had like our little posse and we'd lift in the group of 8. And it's funny because we lifted recently. Like it was me and Kyle and then our 3 buddies, and it was just ridiculous. Like I'm like, oh, I kind of feel bad doing this because there's this intense group of big dudes and we're all like pretty jacked, which is funny. But anyways, I started bringing him to the gym with me, and it was so new to him, and I think he puked the first time, like, and it wasn't even like we did much. It was so radical. But what's cool is like, by me inviting him and just taking like a small olive branch to a dude I didn't even really know. He's a freaking amazing guy. He's a good friend. And even recently, like he sent me a reel, which I really appreciated. It said, you'll never forget the ones who brought you up and got you started on your journey. They mean the world to you. And like I worked with him and helped him lose 100 pounds, which was just so, and it was so awesome to see that, because I lifted with him the whole time. And it's what really inspired me to further be a coach. And that's what I think is so good. Like if you have a partner, like you don't have to start screaming they need to be in the gym 5 days a week, but you could be like, hey, like come get a lift with me. You want to come on a walk? Let's chat. Like there's ways to bring other people up. And I think bringing people up is so nice. And the people often too, like if there's people that are giving you friction in your life and they're bringing you down and they're making fun of you, like, oh, you're always at the gym. Like maybe your partner's saying that, or like, why can't you eat some fun food? Sometimes a lot of that's from their own insecurity. They're not feeling good about themselves. Like they say, hurt people hurt people. And I think you can really get in front of that by like actually just building them up, encouraging them. And then it's funny because by doing that, that person will get like a fire lit under them and they'll fire you up. And you're like, yes, you're bringing me up too. And you're both just growing and moving forward. So I think that's really cool. And I also think it's a great segue into our next question, actually, which is, what is the best way to start a fitness journey to someone that's overweight? So I don't know how overweight we're talking, but for me, anyone who's really overweight, like if you're just like, okay, I'm super overweight, I got a lot of fat to lose, I need it off. What I always recommend, and like the best way to start, like even someone in your family, is get them walking, get a step goal. So you have to understand, as cool as it is for them to eat 200 grams of protein, to nail their calories every day, to understand all these things, it's not going to happen, right? There's a reason someone is overweight, and a lot of times it's something psychological. It's a lack of self-belief. It's a really bad pattern, really bad sedentary, perhaps isolation. Like there's a lot more that just goes into it than the basics, especially the really heavy people. In general, though, for them, even perhaps they're doing 2,000, 3,000 steps a day, you push them to 5,000, 6,000. It doesn't sound like a big increase, but it could be 100% increase for them. They're naturally going to start losing weight. They're going to start moving. They're going to feel a little better. It's just getting started. And in general, the biggest part of anything is getting started. Like a cut, it sucks. The first day, you're hungry. Like for instance, for me, I was so hungry. I'm like, oh, well, not so hungry, I guess. I just wanted to eat something. Basically, I was bored. But of course, I'm like, okay, I need to push through this. I need to win the day. I need to check that box. And I'll tell this to my clients. And then you're stacking wins. And the more wins you stack, you have this like huge tower, and it just becomes so momentous that it's like, I don't want to break this. Like I want to keep this going. And it makes it that much easier. And that's the beauty with walking, because you get that going. From there, I'll look to cut one obvious thing that's really hurting them. Maybe they order in every night. Maybe they drink a lot, or maybe they're drinking like 6 Cokes. Like usually liquid calories, where I can cut that, is usually my next best step. And these are very basic tips, but you do that. And then from there, when they have about 2 weeks under their belt, you'd be surprised. They'll probably lose like 5-10 pounds from this alone, especially like the 300 to 400 pound people. from here, it's like, okay, let's start tracking our calories. Let's find our baseline and perhaps not even have them hit goals. Just get them awareness and identifying it, obviously, depending on how intense the person is. And then you can do it like really healthy, really sustainable, because even like Biggest Loser was a horrible example. And that documentary came out. They were just beating people. They were just having them do excessive cardio, beating them up, really changing their dieting. And they weren't actually reteaching them how to eat and adjust. Because even I can say, hey, you don't need 6 Cokes a day. Let's have 2 Diet Cokes. Let's start there. And then eventually you can adjust. Like, you can drink water too. And like, it sounds silly, but these things can be big changes for people, right? And it's like, hey, actually that going on a walk actually is a mild like suppressant for your appetite. It's like, oh, sweet. Like, okay, I'll go do that. And like, you don't need to eat every 25 minutes. You can eat every few hours. Like, it sounds crazy, but I think reteaching that and getting to the root is how you actually see it. And then obviously you get into all the high level stuff we're always talking about. But yeah, that's how I like to approach it.
Yeah, we've actually helped, and we'll put some photos on the screen. We've helped a lot of people lose anywhere between 100 and 200 pounds, which has been awesome, right? And it's so different for everyone's journey, as Josh mentioned, like starting with just making some small tweaks, building momentum. And even for me, it's just really about those small habits over time. As a coach, what I really try to do is understand what someone's thinking and what they're going through, right? Because obviously for me, the most I've been is 210, and I've done that on purpose. Like, I'm 5'8". And so what some people don't realize, like those,
5'2".
Yeah, 5'2". So,
a lot of our friends are freakishly tall. So Kyle we joke with him with that. And even me, for the longest time, like the friends, I'm like 6'1", 6'2". I'd lift with people that are 6'4", 6'7", 6'8". It was like ridiculous. Like, I'm like, why do I? And I actually joke with Kyle, I'm like, tall people weird me out because 6'2", I'm taller than most people. Anyways, this is neither here nor there. But I just want to quickly jump in with what Kyle said, because another big part, I think, is self-belief. Like, I think you get to these crazy levels when you don't have any self-belief, when you don't have any confidence that you can see change. So I think teaching them, like, you can do this, like, you can see change, you can be fit, you can be healthy, you can craft a new identity. I think they're not going to realize that, especially if you're really overweight for quite a while. And that's where having someone on your side who does believe in you. And I even remember with Sunny, I'm like, you can do it, bro. Like, let's stay strong, like, help them adjust. And like, that's where even as a coach, it really inspired me, because I'm like, wow, what I do can have such an input for people. And I think it's so easy just to dunk on yourself, be like, oh, I'm the worst, I can't stick to it, I suck. And that's where, like, when you have a coach who just believes in you no matter what, it's the best feeling, because you can't fail.
well, and that's so true, because even like I was mentioning, like getting into the understanding of where someone's at, like even if I haven't been in that exact scenario, I've worked with over 5,000 people as a company. So even whether it's a female who has the time of the month where we know the challenges, we know what she's thinking, we know exactly what's going on, someone who's overweight, I understand the temptations, I understand the obstacles, I understand the years and years of struggles. And like, when I can get to know someone and understand exactly what's going on, I can then create a game plan, knowing some of them travel for work, some of them obviously will order in a little bit more. I can take what they're doing and what they're thinking and create a game plan where it's just one step at a time, one foot in front of another, where they're like, wow, 4 pounds a week just from these simple, small tweaks. And even alone, like I have a few of my clients who are looking to lose a lot. I have one guy who's looking to lose over 200 pounds. He's made some great progress so far. Another who's like close to 100 pounds he's looking to lose. And I spent a lot of time tailoring one of their workout plans because his knees are bothering him. The lunges will hurt him. Leg press, it doesn't cooperate. So I'm like, hey, let me put something together where you get into the gym, you build momentum, and you're just stacking these wins. Like, that's all it comes down to, is stacking the wins, having something that's actually for you, instead of me being like, hey, 7 times a week, 2 hours of running a day, and we're going to get you in this crazy deficit. Like, that's not what it's all about. And I want to help you lose weight and keep it off. Like, I just made a reels the other day about how we have a weight regain problem, not a weight loss problem. And that's because of unsustainability and just not actually changing your identity, which for these people who are looking to lose a lot more, you have to become a different version of yourself, and you can't keep doing the same things that you did to get you to where you were at before. So that's going to be my main tip for this question.
Yeah. And like Kyle said, if I just take away everything you love, I'm like, hey, you got to stop watching TV. That's killing you. No more Cokes, and you're done with sugar. Say goodbye to beef. Like, it's not going to work. Like, you're going to lose weight. It's dumb. It's like me saying best way to budget is don't buy anything all year long and just beg for money. Like, it's just ridiculous. And that's how people approach this. And that's that's where like you can put fitness on top of your life and it can just weigh down your life like an elephant sitting on top of you, or you can fit it within your life and you can actually like reevaluate these things. Kyle loves ice cream. He loves sweets. He eats ice cream, he eats sweets. He just fits it in. It's totally fine. I like massive portions of food. I figure out how to navigate that. Like it's very freeing when you actually realize like, okay, I can still do all these things I love. We love eating out. We like nice dinners with our buddies and our partners. Like it's a nice thing we really actively enjoy, and you shouldn't just take away everything you enjoy in life. And what's awesome too is the longer you do this, the more you're like, okay, I like feeling good. Like I don't like just eating an insane amount of food for no reason, a bunch of garbage, and the next day you feel like just horrible and your face all sodium fat. Like it's not a good feeling. Instead, you start to be like, okay, like I feel good when I'm eating my lean proteins, I got my carbs, I have a fun treat here and there. It's no big deal. And I like going on walks. Like it's nourishing to me. I like hitting big sessions with my buddies and feeling the pump. Like it's awesome when you actually start to love this stuff. And don't expect naturally to love it off the hop. It does take time, but I assure you, and I say to all my clients, once you see results, you get addicted, and it's awesome seeing them grow and look for more from that. Last but not least, our third question for the day is my number one fitness question is how to activate the mind muscle connection more. For me, I have a hard time feeling that connection, especially in my back exercises.
And this came from an amazing client, shout out Tico. He's one of my newer clients, and he sent this to an email like a couple weeks ago. I sent to our email list, hey, do you have a question? He sent this. And so I was talking to him back and forth. I'm like, hey, bro, send over some form videos. And what is amazing is that I'm like, instantly, I know exactly what's going on. So I've made a lot of videos on this, but as an example, like he was pulling for the lat pull down, he was just pulling the bar down like super low towards like his legs. And then for the single arm dumbbell row, and he knows exactly, he's like, hey man, I didn't realize this. So he's made some changes and he's already starting to do a lot better. But for the single arm dumbbell row, just twisting a lot, like just kind of doing like a moving your entire body instead of just like getting a nice squeeze and keeping your back nice and straight. And so these simple tips alone make such a big difference. And that's why I do believe that the form is so important, because you could be doing the same movements that I'm doing or Josh is doing, and then you're just like rushing through, you're pulling it down in the wrong areas, and you just don't feel it. And it's kind of funny because even a couple weeks after he sent me a message, like this was actually last week, he said, hey coach, I realized one other thing that's been going on is that I've been going into the gym and I've just been like really distracted. Like I just haven't really been thinking clearly. I haven't been as like focused with the intensity and with the intention and all that other stuff. I'm like, man, I can relate to that. And that's where even similar to Josh's mentioned the other day, like of me being more distracted, like I don't even know what muscles I was hitting. Like I was so distracted. I was thinking a ton. I wasn't present. I was just going through the motions. And that's where in order to feel the mind muscle connection and the muscles you're working, it's these small tweaks. It's doing the form right, and it's just being present. And that alone will solve a lot. You'll end up seeing way better benefits. You'll be squeezing the muscles a lot more, and you'll just be getting way more out of it, right? I know so many people who go in there, they rush through everything, they're doing poor form, and you're showing up to the gym, but you're just not doing it right. So these are my simple tips that I feel like will help you so many different ways.
Yeah, my best advice would be just for one set, do a 3-second negative, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. So that's a stretch of the movement. For the contraction, do a big squeeze. You can go nice and fast here, but hold that squeeze for a second. And just envision you packing that muscle as tight as you can, like you're wedging it together. And any muscle you do, you're going to feel the burn here. And take a big breath, really work on your breathing, be intentional. And if your weight's way too shy, do this with some more weight. And naturally, you're going to start to feel it more and more. But the big part is just slowing that tempo, removing aspects of it you shouldn't. Like if you're doing a curl and you're like just heaving your back, it's going to take away from you actually feeling it on your bicep. Whereas it's like, hey, can we isolate this? Can we go against a wall? So something you can do like that as well that will kind of force you to not cheat, will help you activate that muscle more. Another recommendation would be checking out our form videos, our form guide. That obviously will help you because there's tips and tricks like a lot of people don't know about that help more. Like on a bicep curl, you can twist your pinky. That's going to help you get more like of a contraction throughout your bicep, which is an amazing benefit. So like sometimes there are some tips and tricks that do go a long way that will help. But more than anything, I I would recommend slowing it down, really burning it out, going near failure, and you'll really start to realize like, okay, I am isolating for that muscle I want to. But the big thing too is presence. Like I mentioned before, if you're not scared before you start a set, it's probably too light. Like it should be a little hard, a little scary to jump into. Another component, I think one of the worst things you do is just be on your phone the whole time and then just quickly jump into a next set, because were you resting 30 seconds, were you resting 5 minutes, you don't know. To me, I have the best workouts, and even I told one of my clients, one of my 2 things this week that I want to work on is try to be on my phone less and in between sets, because it's boring. You're doing nothing, you're breathing, you're thinking about the next set, and usually you can get in there and you can give it some oomph, you can give it some intention, some intensity, and that can greatly improve the connection on the movement.
Yeah, and even these simple cues, like when you watch all of our form videos, you'll see little things we say, but like, Josh had a great tip before, is like when you're doing a lat pull down, the scapula, like right in between your shoulder blades on your back, if you envision there's like a pencil or like a tennis ball, and every rep at the bottom, you're just squeezing that pencil / tennis ball, whatever you want to imagine, you will feel it so much more than just like pulling up and down, right? And when you have these simple cues within each exercise and you really, really just like spend a lot of time focusing on exactly what you're working, that alone will make such a big difference. And that will obviously require a lot of presence.
All right, there it is. Once again, join our summer challenge, early access, show yourself you're serious, put your money where your mouth is, and see change once and for all. Stop putting it off. If ever you're like, oh, I should do this year, like this is your year, jump in, let us take care of you. It is a perfect time. Message me summer challenge. Let me do the hard work for you. My Instagram is @ColossFit, COLOSSUSFIT. Now, as we end, for our Inner Circle listeners, you made it to the end. The real ones, you guys have been showing up strong. Appreciate every single comment. Me and Kyle both read every single comment, so it means the world. And what I want to do for this episode is I want this to be like a super thread of just value. I want you to put the best takeaway you've ever gotten from this podcast. I'm really curious what it is. It could be a recent one, could be from this episode. If you thought this episode was amazing, that's a bonus. Could be from our first or second episode. I don't know, but I want to hear what your biggest takeaway was. Maybe we'll bunch these up and do a full episode on it. I think it'd be really fun. And I like to hear it from the best listeners we have, which are like this super crew, the super community. So thank you for being one of them. Drop that comment down below, YouTube or Spotify. If you're on iTunes, message us on Instagram. We can add it to the list. But thank you for tuning in. I can't wait to get shredded together. Let's start right away. Let's not put it off, and let's crush this challenge. Peace.